here with the one and only Honey. Thank you for inviting me to your show today.
Of course. Welcome, everybody. Hi, welcome to the Couch of Therapy Show. I am your host, Hanif R. Jordan, and today I have my neighbor.
What up, y'all? How y'all feeling out there
Austin
today?
Martin.
Whoa,
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about.
I cannot wait to dig in to his business, his company, Trigger Fingers, and we're gonna talk about that.
Absolutely.
This is my guy. He's just an amazing young man. Yes, I always say
Thank
big
you,
bank, take
thank
little
you.
bank. I'm older than most of y'all in here. You know I always mess with you.
Well, I appreciate it though, because you look very young. So don't ever tell nobody your age. You do you, because right now. You about 25, 24. You know what I'm saying? You ain't the oldest. You the youngest one in this room right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like an old man around here. You dig? All right now.
You heard me?
Hey.
Okay, I receive it. Okay. So listen, Austin, you know I love you. I adore you.
I appreciate you. Thank you. I love you too.
And I'm so fascinated at your love and your knowledge of, when I say Trigger Fingers, you guys, I'm talking about his company, guns. He builds them. Amazing, right? And so, because I believe in that armor, that we should have.
Absolutely.
It. And so I want you to take us on the journey. What made you get into that, or have you always loved?
So it's a family thing, right?
Okay.
So I come from Mississippi. Also, I'm from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. My grandfather, my uncles, everybody, right? They're avid hunters. They're more experienced with these type of things. That as growing up, I learned the safety and the understanding of it. Now, truth be told, once I was born there, I was raised here in Los Angeles, California. Went to Hamilton High, graduated from there. So from these mean streets out here, I was always taught that guns were a bad thing. This is something of violence. This is something that if you get caught with it, you're going to go to jail. You got to be a gangster. You got to be hard. You got to be this, right?
Right.
What we fail to realize is that if we teach the youth the understanding of what the mathematics is behind velocity, speeds of bullets, lowers, drops, millage, and everything like that. So that got me very interested. So once I left here, California, I had the opportunity to move to Wisconsin. So when I moved to Wisconsin, I was traveling back from Wisconsin to Mississippi. And acknowledging the things that how free they felt to own or possess these weapons or these guns, right? It's for hunting, it's for sport, it's for relaxation. It's something that if you're so stressed out and you want to go alleviate some of the stress, right? These are things that you would probably take it, like if you play golf or anything. But coming from the mean streets of Los Angeles, I was always taught this was a bad thing.
Right.
That's a no-no, right? So once I started understanding the laws that protect us, the Second Amendment, I started getting more involved in it. The more I got involved in it, the more I could teach other people on what the mathematics are behind it, right? So if you're looking at anything from a 10-inch, 16-inch barrel, you're looking at the velocity from a 5.56, 223, 308. You're talking anything from a 9mm to a 45 to a 40 cal to 357. So once you start looking at these specifics of these things, you start talking to the people. So you're educating that person now. Number one, you have two different types of protection in your life. You can protect yourself with these,
right?
Or you can protect yourself, which we know today, if anything goes wrong, 9 times out of 10, the bad guy's going to have the gun, right? So you're not going to go into a knife fight with a gun. So I got into the building of the gun. I was taken out into the, I want to say, target practicing and stuff like that. Once we started target practicing, it was the guy who started telling me, and he started giving me this information. I started relaying back to how I was born, or how the gift I was given from birth, from my grandparents, my uncles, and everybody. Like, hey, this is survival. So if anything was to go wrong, there were no more grocery stores. There was nowhere to go anything. You want to learn how to plant, be a survivalist, learn where your caches are, what caliber is going to be the most that you're going to need when it comes down to it. And then when it comes to protecting you and your family, that's simple and plain. It's about feeding your family and protecting your family at the end of the day.
That's real.
It's nothing about being violent or trying to be the tough guy, or I got the coolest gun on earth. The reason why I got into the bills, because at any one given time, it brings me back to, if I have to be a survivalist, I have to know how to take care of this particular things that's going to help feed me, or protect me. So now I take people out with me, women, kids, men,
And that's
whatever
what
it
I
is.
love, that you actually are in the community teaching it. Not,
Absolutely.
not just to men, to women, to children. Because
Absolutely.
I do believe that if you have young ones, if they're not afraid of it,
Right.
then you will have less of these cases where kids are just picking up guns thinking it's something to toy with
Right.
and play with. So if they understood safety, they understood what it's
Absolutely.
for, then you don't have those, you don't have those issues. And you're so knowledgeable on it. I
And you know,
mean,
and thank you for that. And that's one of the biggest things is that we're taught that gun kills people. No, people kill people. It's the
with guns.
person who holds the trigger because they're not knowledge on what it is. Accidental deaths, accidental misfires, or anything like that. It's the way that you're holding the gun. It's the way that you're putting it and you're talking, you're waving it around. You know, you see the movies, you want to come out, you want to hold the gun a certain way. No, that's not what you do. So as a youth or anybody that comes to see me, first thing I teach them is the etiquette of the gun, the breakdown of the gun, how to actually hold it, holster your gun, or take the gun and store it safely away from any kids. But as a child or youth growing up, you want them to have that understanding of destruction. This will change any and everybody's lifestyle. You will change your own lifestyle because you think that you're mentally strong for these things. The ones that you if you ever gone hunting, right, which is one of the things that I encourage people to go do. If you have the opportunity to go hunt and you shoot an animal, make sure that you're shooting that animal for feeding your family. Because
Right.
once you see this, one of the crazy stories, right, when I had the opportunity as I got older to understand what it's like go hunting, they was like, let's go deer hunting. So I said, yeah, I thought it was gonna be the coolest thing because I just wanted to shoot something, right? So as soon as I shot the deer, I didn't realize that the bullet doesn't mean that it's not like on TV where something just drops dead, right?
Right, right,
It
right.
runs off. And when it runs off, and as a hunter, and you're gonna go gather this food for your family, you gotta chase down this particular animal. Once you get to the animal, one of the things that I had to get my mind around was I'm looking at this deer looking back at me as he's dying, but he's giving his life for my life at this time. See?
Ooh, that's
So
good.
it's nothing about what I wanted to do because I thought it was going to be a cool thing in the beginning. But then after it actually happened, I actually had the opportunity to shoot a 6-point deer, which was a big buck, right? And you're like, oh my God, look at this. You get there, the sadness is crazy. So
Right.
to own a gun, to be a part of that situation, it's once you pull the trigger, you can't pull the bullet back. The sadness behind that first time I actually had to go kill my own dinner versus going into a grocery store
And
while
get
I'm picking the steak out, I'm just happy and
right.
just whistling and dancing. Oh, I'm gonna have me a good one tonight.
Yeah,
Versus me looking at this actual
that's good.
living being, this thing that was alive. It was minding its business, not knowing that I was foraging or I'm looking for a meal. You know, so now I become the apex predator. So now my mind frame changes from being the human that I am and looking at, oh my God, the despair, the hurt, the sadness I felt, to like if I was a lion. So now I have transformed into this whole different animal
Animal.
because now I have to devour this. I can't just kill this and allow this. I can't watch this animal suffer because I have dogs, I have cats. I
Right.
love pets, right? That's the
Right.
last thing you want to do is hurt something that can't hurt you back. And then there's the opportunity where you look at it and you say, oh my God, this is something that I can eat for the remainder of the year or something like that. Or I could give it to my neighbors or anybody else who's willing to accept, you know, this feast that we're going to have. This is how we lived as Africans. This is how we lived as
Right. Right.
primitive people,
Right.
right? From the Indians on down. I mean, not to take away from anybody else, but you were a hunter and a gatherer.
Gather.
So this is where we got to take that back. And the human instinct is to be a killer. Simple and plain. That is your first instinct. But as you're taught and you're brought up, you're taught peace, love, respect. And once that goes out the window, you're only left with one thing, and that's called destruction, and that's called genocide, or taking out the next, or being part of this plan that was given to you because it was pre-written, right? So like,
Come on, teach. I
that
know.
expose my
Teach.
age for being 50 years
Teach.
old, growing up in Los Angeles, California, graduating in 1990, growing up during the 80s, all I knew was the destruction. It was to
Right.
protect my neighborhood. It was to protect the homies. It was to protect what was coming in, right?
Right.
Once I got over that, then that killer instinct came away from me. and I was taught the respect side of what life is, how to enjoy it, because I lost so many friends and anything to this thing we call gun violence. But if we were taught from the beginning, as they're taught down south, Midwest, anything like
absolutely.
that. These are things that are actually taught in school. You're talking about agriculture, you're talking about farming, you're talking about how to create a community, right? So I start to embrace more of that, where I wanted to teach the youth that this is what it's about. Don't be scared to own. You have the amendment, you have the Second Amendment, you have a right to protect yourself, but you have the right to also feed your community and to understand what it's like to take all these things, and that this is something of what we need to survive. This is a survival tool. This is not a tool of destruction at that point. Good. So my thing is that I would rather somebody come in, understand what velocity, speed, windage, droppage, or whatever it is. So as you're hunting and I need to shoot across the street over there, well, I don't want to be a sniper. I don't want to go to Iraq and kill the man and say I had the longest shot on earth. Right, I want to be able to say, hey, I took the shot and I fed my community today. So we're brainwashed from Call of Duty to all the video games. You're taken out of your essence of what it is, right? So I want to take that back away, and I want to give the women, the kids, the men that understanding and what it takes, that strength to know that I can own this. But I don't have to brandish it. Nobody has to know what you have. That's you don't good. Have to, you don't have to go out there. But go out there and practice. Be proficient. If you're stressed out, you want to take that time out to squeeze off 10 rounds out of any caliber gun. It's just like going, as you see the people, they go and they break things, right? You're breaking things. You go in there and you're just breaking glass. That's the exact same thing. And once you start to understand, like, okay, there's a droppage, and now you're starting to do the math. You're starting to do the understanding of what's going on. There's weather conditions. There's ups. There's downs. That's so good. So you have to start gaining all this, which gives you a lesson now. So now you're excited to go next time because, what did I do wrong? Was my millage off? Was this? What? So you go home, you start thinking. It turns you into a thinker. It turns you into everything else in life. Yes, becomes mathematical. Exactly. That's good. So that's good. Absolutely. I knew to have you on the show. You know what I'm saying? Hey. So no, I love that you're sharing it. I know you firsthand, and grateful that you came on the show. Thank you so much. To share your knowledge. And you guys, there's going to be a link to a video which you will see exactly what Austin does. He takes you on a short journey of him at, I think it's at a shooting range. Yeah, shooting range, and actually breaking down some things and breaking down the guns and stuff, and you'll be able to see it. What advice, though? Oh, why didn't you get to talk about... You have a son that you put through the you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I absolutely do. Skylar Thompson plays for the Los Angeles Rams. One of my favorite moments in life, I was able to, right, you looking at me like this little dude right here, like, yeah, right. No, my son is one of the starting strong safeties for the Los Angeles Rams. It was a great journey going through that, because that's another thing in life, right? He was told that he was never going to be big enough or great enough in order to play the sport, right? This is something that we played Madden, man, and we played Madden. He was this little kid. He just got so involved. He said, Dad, I want to play football. Okay, let's go play football. Right. We get on the field. People are telling him, oh, yeah, that's cool. You're going to be, you're making it to high school. That's as far as you're going to go. Guess what? Not only did he graduate, he went to Washington State, graduated from there, turned around and went to Liberty College and got his degree. He has a master's degree also. You better go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. So going from Liberty into the NFL, the statistics is very, very small in between. Correct. And that goes back to teaching and that understanding and having that wisdom, having that strength that you can give the youth or anybody else that's around you. You want them to have that energy. There's nothing that you can't do, regardless of size, of mentality, or what you think I'm not smart enough to do, right? That's one thing that I'm able, besides guns, to say, hey, this is a kid. He said he wanted to do it, and I believed in him. Mm-hmm. Once I put my belief as the parent, he's not my friend, he's my son.
That part.
So I have to show him the belief, because the world is cold. It's a cold world. You got to supply your own heat, right? So therefore, I supplied that heat for my son. And today he supplies that heat back into other youths that's around to say that, hey, your father's not in your life. That Star was in my son's life, right? So there's nothing that you can take away. Even when you don't have the father figure or the mother figure and you're going through things, you have to be the mentor to the kid. Even when you're on the field, to that kid that's standing next to your kid, you have to be that mentor. You have to show them and give them that exact same amount of energy, because his friends also were able to go to college and gain, accolades and do things. Maybe not make it to the NFL, but the thing is that they took a path of excellence.
That's good.
And that's what I like to see.
That's good.
Walk out with a degree. Not everybody has to make it to there. Walk out with that paper. That paper means so much at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because now what you created as a community is giving that same energy to that person's gonna tell the next person's gonna tell the next person and their kids, and so on and so on. So yes, you have to plant that seed, and you have to do that. So yes, I'm very proud of being the man to stand up and say that no, it's not an excuse. Yeah, I mean, excuses for the weak, right?
Right.
So
100%.
we have to do it, regardless of what you think, how big you are, how smart you are. I said that before. You have to be the support system, simple and plain.
Yeah.
So I want everybody to always embrace and encourage. If it's a niece, a nephew, if it's the little kid that you see coming up, see the talent in that person. Somebody saw the talent in me.
I poured into you.
Exactly.
There it is.
So I take that, I embrace that, and I spread that. I like to spread the love, and that's what it's all about. The only way we're gonna make it as a society or a community is by love and respect and communication. So that's why I stand on business about that.
All the time. Oh my God, Austin, it's so good to have you on. I appreciate you.
No doubt.
How can people follow you to get more information about what you're doing? Just to go on some of the to be able to go to the gun range and learn. With all the wealth of knowledge that you have, how can they contact you if they need be?
Right now, I'm still in the middle of building the page and getting everything together. It's called Trigger Fingers. You go to triggerfingers.com or triggerfingers.net. It should be on any one of those platforms at this time. We're displaying different type of guns, builds, customizing also with different ranges from 50 to 100 yards, 25 yards. Most gunfights only happen within 10 feet. So I give you all of that information there. I'll give you guys better information on where to actually find the videos and everything. I'll make sure that I pass it on to you.
Pass it on to me.
And therefore you can pass it on to the team or the crowd.
Well, thank you for being on my show.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time, folks.
Better than